Imagine a drug that didn't just suppress the immune system, but surgically reprogrammed it. A medicine that proved autoimmune disease wasn't driven by chaos, but by specific immune circuits that could be selectively shut down. A drug that quietly generated over $100 billion in lifetime revenue, dominated dermatology and gastroenterology for more than a decade, and laid the blueprint for the next generation of precision immunology. This is the story of a molecule born from academic immunology, developed inside one of the world's most powerful pharmaceutical companies, and transformed into a franchise that reshaped how we treat chronic inflammatory disease. This is the story of Stelara. Welcome to Blockbuster Drugs. Every blockbuster drug starts somewhere, from cluttered labs on handwritten notes to kitchen tables at night. Welcome to Blockbuster Drugs, the series that uncovers the human stories behind the world's most powerful medicines. These breakthroughs didn't start in skyscrapers or billion-dollar boardrooms. They began in tiny labs at kitchen table biotech startups, and in the minds of young scientists chasing ideas no one else believed in. Through failures, reinventions, and sheer persistence, from accidental encounters to tireless experiments, this is Blockbuster Drugs. Section 1. What is Stelara? Who developed it? How big does it get? Stelara was approved by the FDA in 2009 for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. At the time, it didn't look like a blockbuster. Anti-TNF drugs like Humira and Enbrel already dominated the market. Doctors were skeptical, patients were stable, and biologics were still seen as blunt instruments. But Stelara was different. Over the next decade, it became one of the most important biologic drugs ever created. Total lifetime revenue, well over $100 billion. Millions of patients treated worldwide in indications spanning skin, gut, and immune-mediated disease. Behind Stelara stood Janssen, the pharmaceutical arm of Johnson & Johnson, a company with the scale, patience, and scientific depth to play a long game. But Stelara's real innovation wasn't commercial. It was conceptual. It asked a new question. What if autoimmune disease isn't driven by too much immunity, but by the wrong immune pathways? Section 2. The biological idea behind Stelara. IL-12, IL-23, and immune precision. To understand Stelara, you need to understand two molecules, interleukin-12 and interleukin-23. These cytokines don't control everyday immunity. They control specialized inflammatory programs, particularly Th1 and Th17 immune responses. In healthy people, these pathways defend against pathogens. In autoimmune disease, they become locked in the on position. In psoriasis, IL-23 drives chronic skin inflammation. Immune cells signal keratinocytes to overgrow and thick, painful plaques form. In Crohn's disease, IL-23 fuels intestinal immune activation and the gut lining becomes inflamed, ulcerated, and fragile. Stelara works by binding the P40 subunit shared by IL-12 and IL-23.1 antibody. Two inflammatory pathways. A far more targeted immune shutdown than TNF blockade. This wasn't brute force. It was immune engineering. Section 3. The origin story. Academic immunology to translational breakthrough. The science behind Stelara began in academia, not in pharma. In the 1990s and early 2000s, immunologists were mapping cytokine networks in unprecedented detail. Psoriasis, once thought to be a skin disorder, was revealed to be a systemic immune disease. Researchers discovered that IL-23 was not just present, it was necessary. Remove IL-23 signaling, and inflammation collapsed. Janssen recognized the opportunity. Instead of chasing the biggest immune targets, they focused on the right ones. The result was Stelara, a fully human monoclonal antibody engineered for precision, not maximal suppression. It was a gamble. Block the wrong cytokine, and you risk infection. Block the right one, and you change medicine. Section 4. Hurdles in drug development and clinical trials. Stelara faced 4 major challenges. Challenge 1. Proving superiority over TNF inhibitors. Doctors were comfortable with anti-TNFs. Stelara had to show equal or better efficacy with better tolerability. Challenge 2. Safety perception. Blocking IL-12 raised concerns about infection and cancer risk. Long-term studies will require not months, but years. Stelara's safety profile held up. Challenge 3. Dosing paradigm shift. Stelara was dosed every 12 weeks after induction. This was revolutionary. Fewer injections, better adherence, higher patient satisfaction. Challenge 4. Expansion beyond dermatology. Psoriasis alone wouldn't justify a mega franchise. Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis trials followed and succeeded. Stelara crossed specialties. Section 5. Indications and medical impact. A precision immunology workhorse. Stelara earned approvals for plaque psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis, but its impact went beyond labels. For psoriasis patients, Stelara meant clear skin for years, not months, fewer flares, minimal treatment burden. For Crohn's patients, reduced steroid dependence, fewer hospitalizations, improved mucosal healing. Stelara helped redefine treatment goals, not just symptom relief, but deep, durable remission. It proved that immune disease could be treated with precision, not blanket suppression. Section 6. The economics, a quiet blockbuster, and the birth of franchise. Stelara was never flashy, but it was immensely profitable. At peak, it generated over $11 billion annually, quietly becoming one of J&J's most valuable drugs. Its success funded a broader strategy to target IL-23 more selectively. That strategy produced Tremfya, a next-generation IL-23 only antibody with higher efficacy and even better safety. Stelara wasn't just a drug. It was a proof of concept, and that concept reshaped Janssen's immunology portfolio. Section 7. The decline and legacy, passing the torch. Like all biologics, Stelara faces biosimilar competition. Its exclusivity is ending. Newer IL-23 agents are taking center stage. But Stelara's legacy is secure. It proved precision immunology works, changed treatment expectations, enabled a generation of safer, more targeted biologics, and shifted autoimmune care from suppression to strategy. Stelara didn't shout. It rewrote the rules. Stelara's story reminds us that the biggest breakthroughs don't always arrive with explosions. Sometimes they arrive with precision. At Blockbuster Drugs, we uncover the science, ambition, and human stories behind the medicines that change the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Stelara, the antibody that rewired immune precision, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The next blockbuster story is already in the lab.